To questions for oral answer. Question number 1 in the name of David Bennett.
Mr. Speaker.
David Bennett.
My question is to the Minister of Finance. How will the budget next month help to lock in the benefits of sustainable economic growth to support more jobs and higher incomes for New Zealanders?
Order. Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, the budget will set out the next steps in the government's program. It will build on the current good economic momentum where we're seeing positive results such as employment rising across the board, wages on average increasing ahead of the cost of living, consumer and business confidence at higher levels than for some time. The budget will also show growing fiscal surpluses, starting with a small surplus in 2014-15. Generally, it will reinforce the positive conditions that are encouraging households to pay off debt, businesses to invest, and New Zealanders to take up new jobs.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, David Bennett.
How is the higher growth outlook for the economy translating into higher wages for New Zealanders?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, the benefits of a sustainable and growing economy, of course, can be tangible to households. For instance, if you use the average full-time wage, which is the basis of the means of calculating our level of national superannuation, over the past 2 years, the average full-time wage has increased from $51,700 a year to $54,700 a year, an increase of $3,000 in the average wage over the last 2 years. If New Zealand can achieve the growth that Treasury is forecasting, then the average wage will rise to around $62,200 by 2018. That would mean another average wage increase of $7,500.
Supplementary question.
Order. I'm just waiting for Andrew Little. Supplementary question, David Bennett.
What other steps will the government take in the budget to help support sustainable economic growth, more jobs and higher incomes over the next few years?
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, with a growing economy, some rise in interest rates is inevitable. But if we learn the lesson from the last economic cycle up to 2008, we know that government going on a spend-up when interest rates are already rising can only make interest rates go even higher, affecting household budgets and reducing the incentives on business to invest in new jobs. So the budget next month will not be about a big spend-up. It will be about thoughtful, targeted spending, which means that the Reserve Bank will not need to further tighten monetary policy, pushing up interest rates.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, David Bennett.
Why is it important that interest rates do not return to their elevated levels in 2008, when floating home mortgage rates reached almost 11%?
Honourable Bill
Mr.
English.
Speaker, I'm pleased the member realises it's important because the opposition parties clearly don't. Restricting interest rate increases makes a significant contribution to household budgets. Every 1 percentage point movement in mortgage interest rates is worth around $40 a week or $2,000 a year for a family with a $200,000 mortgage. This is why the government is going to be careful with its spending to help keep mortgage rates at reasonable levels after a lengthy period at 50-year lows. Imagine the effect on interest rates if we had the same increase in government spending as a previous government, around $2.5 or $3 billion per budget. That would push interest rates up sharply.
Supplementary.
Order. Supplementary question, Honourable David Parker.
If, as he keeps claiming, things are going so well, where has the $1.1 billion of missing tax revenue in the 8 months to February 2014 gone?
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the first thing to remember is that tax revenue has increased around 5% compared to last year. which shows the benefits of a growing economy. We have growing tax revenue. It just hasn't increased quite as quickly as Treasury forecast that it would. Some of that tax revenue, they believe, is sitting in the tax pooling system, and some of it is lower GST, which could be caused by the fact that in Christchurch there are large claims coming through for GST on insurance payouts and long lags until that money is used to build houses when the GST would come back.
Question number 2, Honourable David Parker.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister.